I am not a man of heights, and I was selected to go to the top of the Space Needle. Wow.
Look out, not down.
Yeah, that's actually Trish, our makeup girl. That's what she told me. Those were her words of wisdom. And we got through it, but, like, they redid it recently, and they took out the rotating restaurant because they have a restaurant on the top of it that rotates.
Yeah.
And so they put a bar in instead with a see-through floor. And I'm like, I'm not going on that.
Sunkissed Steve.
Uh-oh.
He's back. He's back from sunny California. Hey, I can see it, dude. I can see it on your dome, bro. You didn't put any SPF on that bad boy?
Oh, yeah. We got it in. Just wasn't enough. It's like fake life out there. It really is.
Where would you live?
Manhattan Beach.
Yeah.
It's
right near Ryan.
It's stupid.
Hey, how
No,
do you
I was
say?
actually in a. I was in a. I like being down the other end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you say Los Feliz?
I don't know.
Los Feliz?
Where's that?
I don't know. That's where I'd be.
Are you being Los Feliz?
Los Feliz.
Hey, Steve, I saw you last night. Dave Damashek sent me a picture of my two of my three favorite ball guys. It was Ryan and it was Steve, and you guys were leaning on the banister there at SoFi, having a good time, having a conversation about God knows what. How was the game?
Incredible. I've always, my NFL games attended isn't big. Like, I always went to Giants games or Jets games when I was young, Patriots. And to see a visiting team come in and, like, be around it in Manhattan Beach and Santa Monica and see how many Cowboy shirts there were. But then, like, doors open, was it 2 hours before kickoff? Scott starts pregame show. And it's just inundated with the star. I mean, they're just all in there. And, I mean, I fast forward to the last drive, and when Parsons blows up that double team, like, that place is rocking.
Yeah.
And the interception, it's even louder. Like, that's got to be a brutal feeling for Chargers. I mean, it's not even a mention out there, you know? I mean, everybody you talk to was there for the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's like when we played there, the Eagle fans took it over, and last night it felt like a road game for them, and the way they're sitting, like, they've been good for stretches, and it hasn't caught on in L.A. for them. I know there's, like, Chargers fans that are listening and being like, hey, we fucking care about the team, the whole thing, but week in and week out, it does not feel like they're playing with a home field advantage there.
No, it's not even close.
No.
I mean, it really is not. I mean, I can remember, even when they were in San Diego, the Steelers would go out there and it was a joke.
Yeah.
And you would see it on TV. But to be there in person and see it, it just is so eye-opening. And then the other factor that the Chargers have, I think with fantasy football and red zone and that kind of dynamic is – I had a researcher look it up. You know, everybody made a big deal of the Vikings last year, right? 11-0 in one-score games.
Yeah.
The Chargers played 12 one-score games. And again, like last night, you know it's coming down to it. And the idea that you're in these close games all the time, I think that they get more eyeballs from non-fans because it's fantasy people. You know, people love Herbert because he's good in fantasy. You know, it's just a dynamic you get in the NFL.
They're like the loneliest team in football.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And what was really eye-opening, Chris, like you've seen it now where like they have the VIP standing areas in like from like the 10-yard line to the back of the end zone on the sidelines. And they just rope it off, and fans could come in that have access, and you just stand there and watch the teams warm up. It's really cool. In New York, for a Jets and a Giants game, there's no room in those ropes. None.
Right. Yeah.
And last night, I'm walking by. I couldn't believe it. Like, they're empty. There's, like, nobody. I don't care to go down to the field and see the guys warm up. Like, I'm in awe every week of just seeing these guys and what they do in pregame.
The fight. Did you see the fight last night?
I did. I was down the other end of the end zone. I couldn't get.
Yeah, Fowler active with his hands all night.
Yeah,
In the
in
backfield
more ways
too.
than one.
Yeah, no, and it could get ugly for the Chargers, man. I looked this up because later on we're going to talk about the AFC playoff race a little bit, but Chargers next 6 weeks at Chiefs, at Jets, Lions, and Ravens 4 or 6 weeks.
2-2.
Yeah, at best.
Kellen Moore looks like Danish professional tennis great Caroline Wozniacki, does he not?
Let me see.
No.
Should have had Woes calling plays last night. No, I think I think Justin Herbert. Where do you want me to go? I don't know. She does look a little bit like Kellen. Not in the picture you showed me, but in the one on the one with her hair wet.
Thank you,
Chris. Yeah. How early did you come out for games?
I usually. That's a good question. I used to come out, do a walk around the stadium, and I listen to. It's very cliche, but I listen to Phil Collins. And kind of walk around the.
Did you
is
sing
there
it
another
really
Phil
loud too?
No, is there another Phil Collins song that I should know? I mean, I was walking around the stadium in the beginning, like catch up with a buddy that like if Kyle, I was playing Kyle, like see Kyle or whoever, go back in the locker room, and D-line's last group out, so I just take my time, hour long kind of runway onto the field.
But like. I see. Like I went down. I wanted to watch, Lawrence warm up and those guys, and like the poor D line, like assistants that have to wear the dummy on the chest plate.
Yeah.
That are just getting destroyed with hand punches.
Oh yeah, those guys are getting crushed.
And now, like the O lineman got like this. I don't even know what it is, but it's a weight, and that's what they're using to punch and pass pro pregame. I went out there early. I wanted to go see my guy Zach Martin. He doesn't even come out.
Yeah.
He doesn't,
like
later, that's it.
Later in my career, I realized there was no point in warming up an hour before you warm up again. And, like, you should just conserve your energy.
I do want to give good news, though. Cowboys fans, Trey Lance, first guy out on the field throwing balls. So your backup your backup.
The way Dak played last night, honestly, you don't have to worry about that. Dak took a lot of shit last week, man. And, kind of where I sit on Dak is, there's a lot of guys in the NFL who haven't been able to get over the hump. He's not alone. There's also a lot of guys this year, as we talked about on Monday, who have not played well, like major elite type quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts at times, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, although he's had a good year, he struggled at times. Lamar, the whole group. So Dak struggling, it doesn't make him that much different, but I thought this game was a big kind of like back against the wall game for him. And I thought he escaped pressure all night and gave them second chances to extend plays and attack the second level of defense. And Brandon Cooks was great.
Yeah.
Like he finally came on for them. So, I thought this was a big, big win for them. And the Chargers defensively, man, you play well most of the night, right? Dallas couldn't get the run game going. That Tony Pollard touchdown, the effort, I don't know if you saw the clip that I posted. At first, I'm sitting in the hotel room, and I'm like, Asante Samuel might have saved the game, right,
yep.
Junior? That chase down was great, but you shouldn't even be talking about the chase down. There's 5 guys standing around the fucking ball, just standing there, changing speed, stopping, watching. Like, your back's against the wall as a team, and you're supposed to be a defensive football team. You might have kept the points down, but that game was lost in that sequence. And, it only takes one play. So
yeah, that's what I said, especially when you're playing a bona fide road game.
Yep.
Like it's just brutal.
Yeah, brutal. And Justin did not play well.
That's what I was going to say. It's really, I was talking with Ryan Clark after the game, and like seeing it in person now. And Dilfer always used to talk about being off platform, throwing the football, like not having your feet set and your momentum behind throws. He has more off platform throws than anybody.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm watching him throw the ball before the game. I'm like, oh my God. He never is able to set his feet and get into a throw the whole game. And is it because of him? Is he antsy because of his O-line? whatever. I didn't watch the tape, but I couldn't believe how many times he's throwing the ball with, open shoulder or getting pulled on by one leg or one arm and just totally open, brutal fundamentals, but that's what he has to do to get the ball off. And it's, he's got the finger on the other hand. It's just a bad look. And a guy that as talented, to see him uncomfortable as much as he was really eye-opening.
I asked Jay Cutler today on the set of our show, I was like, does that other finger affect the way or the confidence with which you throw the ball? And he said absolutely not. So I think it was just
he missed three wide open deep balls.
Yeah,
even the trajectory was off.
That's his thing usually. And, those are throws that I really do think he makes on a regular basis. Every quarterback gets games like this.
Yep.
It just so happens to be the one that everybody watches.
Correct.
And these two teams, obviously, when we picked it on Monday, I'm like, I don't know who to pick because it's just about who wants to give it away more. And, Dallas, ton of penalties, defensive penalties in the first half. I was doing a tally. Dallas penalties on defense alone or Philly home runs. It was at one point last night, it was close. I was sitting in the hotel room. But fucking Justin Herbert's got to win these games, man.
Yes.
Your back is against the wall. If you want to be mentioned in the elite group among Mahomes, among Allen, Hurts, those guys, you got to convert these physical gifts you have into clutch moments. And he's led as many game-winning drives as almost anybody in the NFL. And that's also a product of them constantly being in bad situations.
Yeah.
They took over the mantle of the 425 game, watching Phillip Rivers run for his life like clockwork every Sunday in a fucked up situation. The Chargers are now that team. And for Chargers fans, they're probably like, well, we've always been that team.
Yeah.
But everybody's watching now and waiting. And when you get a Monday night game like that, and you got a chance to make a statement, not to mention the stretch they have coming up, I mean, you're kind of up shit's creek now. This was a big one.
They never start off well, though.
Yeah, I know.
And just going back to your thing about that, I get it. Everybody wants to know who's going to be the good teams at the beginning of the season. I just go back and look like these quarterbacks, they don't play in the preseason. There's no match for game reps, and it sucks that you got to start your ways like this.
Yeah.
So it's a long enough season to make it up, but I think they got a game with KC staring them in the face, right?
Yeah, they do. At Arrowhead. Hey, make any clock management or coaching decisions from the weekend or last night even. Not to put you on the spot, but I know you like the clock stuff.
Mike went into the half.
Yeah.
The official stopped the clock at 8 seconds because my man's clearly taking a timeout. And he says, why'd you stop the clock?
Right.
I wanted at 3 seconds to line up for the Aubrey field goal.
And he's a punching bag, right? But, if you are going to kick that field goal, you don't want to have to kick off.
Sure, but
it's fun. It's Mike McCarthy, dude. So, anyways, that's
just so you know, unders now 14-6 in prime time.
Dude, I told you from
Crazy.
the pumpkin last week, I sent you guys 3 fucking unders. And you guys were like, oh, he's just being an asshole, which I kind of was. But I knew, I knew if I could send you 3 picks from the grave one day, I'll send you unders. And you'll be like, this asshole.
But you're already under.
And by the way, and we can talk about this right now, I guess.
Oh.
The total's sitting on Thursday night for Jacksonville and New Orleans at 39 and a half. And obviously Saints were laying 3. Now they're laying 1 time of tape Tuesday afternoon. How do you read a game like this with Trevor Lawrence with the knee, the whole thing? You're looking at the line. What do you make of it?
Who's their backup?
Beathard.
E.J. Beathard.
Oh,
so I like the under.
Great.
So I like the under here. I mean, even if Trevor plays, I think the total's 41, 42.
42 probably.
Yeah, 42. Now I just right before Macon told me that Adam Schefter tweeted that Trevor Lawrence is feeling optimistic.
Oh, we like that even better.
Yeah, exactly, because why put that out through Schefter unless you're probably not going to play? But 39 and a half, I bought it up to 41 like a coward and bet the farm. So just so you know, I don't know, man.
Do you even blink at buying points anymore?
No. No. Little juice. little vitamin C.
Just a couple bucks.
Yeah, it's just a couple bucks. It's really about the feeling of winning and losing, you know? So a loss is a loss. I don't care if I bought 3 points or not.
Feels like we pay more for DoorDash and Uber Eats
we definitely do.
fees than we do for buying points.
We do here. We pay more for Uber Eats and DoorDash here. Okay, so Steve.
Yeah.
Let's get in some college football.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about your Seattle trip.
Oh,
and I went there one time for a walkthrough because we used to play Seattle and go up there. And, like, Mark Brunell was, like, doing a game. He was doing the game and, like, was hanging out there. We had some UW guys on the coaching staff. We went in the facility. It's gorgeous. I mean, like, I just love the area, man.
It's so good. You know, I got a bunch of college guys up there that were from there, moved back there, and their favorite thing to tell me all the time is, you know, keep telling everybody that it rains here all the time. Just
exactly.
Please keep saying it. But I am not a man of heights, and I was selected to go to the top of the Space Needle. Wow.
Look out, not down.
Yeah, that's actually Trish, our makeup girl. That's what she told me. Those were her words of wisdom. And we got through it, but, like, they redid it recently, and they took out the rotating restaurant because they have a restaurant on the top of it that rotates.
Yeah.
And so they put a bar in instead with a see-through floor. And I'm like, I'm not going on that. I'll just go straight to the top.
What's the fear, Steve, that you'll fall to your death?
Through the floor?
No, it's just like, I don't know what it is. Just seeing that far away.
Dude, I saw a restaurant. I saw an Instagram post this weekend, and there's a restaurant where they strap you into like a fucking a tethered booster seat. You're like a toddler 300 feet above the ground, and you're just hanging, like legitimately eating. Here's the table. You look down on either side, it's 200 feet. So I don't know where the fuck that is or who's going there, but just holding a cell phone on a balcony makes
exactly.
Can't do it.
Scariest thing in the world. So, but I mean, it blows Empire State Building away just because of how much you walk around the side and Mount Rainier staring you in the face. You see the Seahawks Stadium, Mariners. You see Husky Stadium. You see Bellevue. You see Mercer Island. Like, it's just unbelievable. But there was a point where I said, okay, I'm done. I'm going down.
You want to take a shot at the Washington Monument while we're here? Like, you know, I mean, Empire State Building. Jeez. I agree with you, by the way. I've been up to the top of the Empire State Building.
More people have been
like,
to those
there's other tall buildings.
How about our history buff?
And
Macon, you got any thoughts on that?
I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. I cannot speak
you
on
haven't?
That's not true.
Virginia
that's not
basketball
true.
Never paid so you could freeload on a trip out there?
I've been to Oregon several times. I want to recant what I just said.
Several times.
It's delightful.
Okay. All right. So
I got a couple shout-outs here for sure.
Oh, you got some shout-outs.
I got to do the whole Sailgate thing, which is just incredible. So first off, we're going to shout out Moonshine Barbecue and Duke Seafood. Those were the two establishments we hit up.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then to the Banchero family for letting me come on their boat.
Paolo?
What?
No, not them. Not
It's
them.
like, you're in deep
They're big.
with the Dukies, bro.
Big in the UW community. But shout out to the guys, Gary, Millsy, Willits, Moss, and then Uncle Bill I met on the boat. He just comes up to me, and he says, hey, I'm Uncle Bill. I'm their uncle, and I'll be your uncle by the end of this boat ride.
And you had an uncle.
Nice.
And I'm like, okay. And, I mean, I raced over to Mercer Island after game day, so it's 9:10. I'm in an Uber. We get over there about 9:40. Boom, we're on that boat at, like, 10 of 10. And, you know, we're coming from Mercer Island, so you get the whole perspective. And as everybody is just getting after it on the boat, they're like, holy cow, we've never seen this many boats at a game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And I'm like, I'm going to get out of the way when we start docking this thing. But, I mean, you're literally driving up and all you see is a stadium.
Could Ryan dock a boat in those conditions?
Yeah, he could.
He could?
But, I mean, these are large boats. And what I realize is, like, we're, say, you know, it's all, you know, season ticket holders. You got a slip number, the whole thing. And when you park your boat, you're just looking up at the stadium. It's like, all right, how am I getting up there? And everybody just has those back footboards, and people just walk across.
Yeah.
Like 20 boats.
Yeah.
And
so you go boat to boat.
Boat to boat and try and turn down every drink possible because I just want to get to the stadium.
That's incredible. Do people – well, I don't want to ask. But, yeah, no, Paolo Banchero, by the way, from Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
You sure? It's not his dad or his uncle?
No.
Okay. Sure doesn't know Uncle Bill? All right. Well,
it's the Bancheros. Paolo is Banchero.
Okay, got it.
You said it correctly.
Yeah, okay.
You did.
So here we go. Columbus this week, the biggest game of the week.
Yeah.
I want to shout out wide receivers coach Marcus Hagans.
Heck yeah.
Penn
First
State.
one for him.
Yeah, this is listen, Penn State, I'm pulling for them as much as anybody to get into this playoff. I think they could make some noise, man, couldn't they? They got to win this game. Yep. So what do you think, Steve? Where do you lean? The line is 4. Total is 47.
Yeah, there's a lot to go in here because when I watched the tape, I saw Ohio State in person against Notre Dame. I was impressed with them. We saw, Ryan Day go crazy after the game, but, they stood in there and trailing on the road in that kind of environment and finding yourself, I felt like McCord did. It was really impressive. I've seen a lot of teams fold under those circumstances. So when you look at that, we've seen Ohio State win a tough road game. Penn State hasn't played anybody and has just destroyed people. And, what happens then? All right, let's start nitpicking at what they don't do. All right, they don't have any big plays. They're 129th in 20-plus yard plays. They're dead last in the country. They have one 40-plus yard play. That's 133rd in college football. But I look at it when I watch them, I think it's more they're playing to what they're good at. And what is that? They have a better offensive line. I'm not in this camp where Penn State has an elite offensive line. The left tackle's good. I don't know if he's the best left tackle. He gets all the shine. He's good, but we're going to find out how he plays on the road in this kind of environment. But Penn State, going back to that, they haven't taken shots down the field because in this new day and age, I've heard people use the term, you see green grass out in the perimeter, take it. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a snap, quick throw, get your 5 yards that way. And Penn State's just done a great job. They got 2 great running backs. And with the receiving group, it's young and experienced, but it's guys, just finding an open area and taking what's given. And what complements that is a young quarterback that hasn't done in one big situations before. So
yeah, and this is a big one.
I think it's been really, really smart how they've gone about things because now if you have all those deep shots, you haven't even shown them.
Yeah.
So when you look at Ohio State, if there is a weakness, I don't think it's a weakness. I just don't think they're as good as they have been, and that's what you compare it to when you talk about the Silver Bullets and all that Ohio State secondary. But the secondary could be had, and they play to the style of we're going to play man because our guys up front are going to get home. Now, can Penn State protect so those Penn State receivers can get open? That's the matchup. That's what it is. Because I don't think Penn State will be able to run the ball consistently, and Aller's going to have to make some throws on the road in a situation that we haven't seen him do it. And Ohio State on the other side, they're not healthy. If Ibuka doesn't play, that's a big deal. Harrison's the best player on the field, but Ibuka's the guy that McCord looks to in those crucial situations. And their top 3 running backs are out. So looking at the line, I hate doubting Ohio State at home, but I'd take the points with Penn State.
All right. Well, let's do the other 3 big ones.
I got one stat for you, Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want your assessment on Penn State. We mentioned the schedule. They're number 1 in pressure rate.
Yeah.
They pressure the quarterback on over 50% of opposing teams' dropbacks. Is that a worthy stat knowing who they played against?
Yeah, that was the first thought that popped into my head. Like, if you have an advantage at skill, you're always going to have more fractions of time.
Yeah.
And, so if people aren't open, that's when you get some of the pressures. You'll see some guys. Pressure is an imperfect stat. It's one that can tell you a lot. Listen, I had a lot of pressures. I'd like to walk around and be like, hey, I was top 5 in 10 years in fucking pressures, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking pressure guy here. But I'm also going to tell you that they're not always indicative of a great rush because, like Sam Howell a couple weeks ago, the Eagles didn't quite get home. They had some really good rushes, but there were a ton of pressures. And when you watch the tape, some of them Sam Howell created. I mean, trying to take shots, trying to trying to get vertical with the football. And so, like, yeah, I think pressures matter. But if you're not playing great offensive lines, if you have an advantage outside, the fractions of time are going to slant your way. And this week on the road, as a pass rusher, that's the worst spot. Like somewhere like that where you have no noise advantage and possibly the best offense, definitely the best offense you've seen. So
Penn State has selected an architect to do their $700 million renovation of Beaver Stadium.
Yeah? Who is it?
Oh, it's it's Barton Malau.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, public funding.
Yeah. What's up with that, Steve?
Penn
$700
State's
million
redoing their stadium again?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a lot of money. Jeez.
What?
And it's all
like
it's all donors, right? It's all donors. Like,
I think it's probably one guy.
Incredible.
No.
Incredible. All right. Well, we got 3 other games here. Let's go Tennessee, Bama. Where do you lean? Bama, 9.5 is the line. 49 is the total. Anything you like in that game?
Talking with SVP on the flight home, just bouncing teams around, and it's amazing to me. Actually, not amazing, but everybody loves offense, right? So when you're talking about Washington and Oregon, like 36-33, we love that. And the other thing is now that Bama has, been so successful and they have a guy that's inexperienced at quarterback and they're winning games with defense, everybody kind of wants to just poop on it more and more because it's not impressive, right? They're not winning by a lot of digits, double digits all the time. But I think that defense is real. I think if you were going to say who would you rather play, LSU or Alabama, I think every person you ask would pick LSU because let's face it, we are in a different day of age of offenses in college football, but when I have an elite defense, those percentages tell me that I'm going to be all right and I'm going to win games. I mean, I look at Ole Miss playing LSU the week after Ole Miss scores 10 points against Alabama, and they go up and down the field on LSU. So I like the improvements I've seen from Alabama, especially the defense. And when I look at Tennessee, Milton has been as big a disappointment at the quarterback position that I have seen. Now, I was not one that bought into this hype that thought he was a Heisman contender because he threw a ball 90 yards at a camp. Yeah. That's another day and age that we're in, right? The wow factor. Who's on Instagram? Who's got the cool videos? He has not been close.
He does not have cool videos.
No, he does have cool videos.
Oh, he has cool videos.
Yeah, but he hasn't produced on the field.
Who's good that doesn't have cool videos?
Who's good that doesn't have cool videos?
Probably that guy from
Macon.
Probably one of your Timmy Chang Award winners.
Oh, we got a big
okay.
Timmy Chang Award winner.
Let me ask you this then.
Go ahead.
Under.
No. Well, yeah, but is there value in betting Bama the way what you just described? Like, people don't have a taste for Bama right now. It's almost
Correct.
like people are like, oh, it's over. Is there any value in betting them week to week because of that public perception issue, or are they still like
I think the lines are still too high.
Yeah.
I looked last week and I didn't pull the trigger, but 19 points to a capable Arkansas team that has a good quarterback, in that league, coming off a huge road win at A&M, that seemed like a lot to me. And then they were up, 20-7. Yeah. And, Arkansas scored late to backdoor it and make it a close game. But no, I don't see much value now in it.
How about Duke and Florida State? 2 touchdown line. Mm-hmm. Gosh, if you looked at the 2 ranked teams, same conference, the whole thing.
Duke has never beaten Florida State.
14 points. So you sticking with FSU there?
I got to see if Riley Leonard's going to play. If Riley
he's still
Leonard
dealing
plays,
with that injury from the end of that game a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, the high ankle.
Yeah.
And he elected to not get the what do they call it? Tightrope surgery now?
Yeah,
Bowers is getting.
yeah.
So if he could go and be effective, that's what I need to see.
Yeah.
Because they could with that run game, Duke's defense is legit. It really is. But, is it going to be one of these games where we got our backup quarterback and we're going 3 and out and our defense is on the field the whole first half and then it really shows up in the second half and we get run in the second half? That's what I'm wary of, knowing the pressure that Florida State can put on you. Keon Coleman just keeps getting better and better. I thought Florida State would bust out last week, and they did, knowing that they got the 2 big wins early in the season. And, they kind of been laying in the weeds there with everybody else starting to ramp up conference play. But I would, if it's 14 and I know I'm having Riley Leonard, I would take a shot with plus the 14. I do think Duke is that legit.
Backup quarterback went 4 of 12 last week. Duke won 24-3.
Interesting.
2 of the 4 were touchdowns.
Okay.
Bang.
Utah, USC. Let's do this for your Pac-12 lock. Is there a lock in here? Utah headed down to Southern California. USC laying 6.5. The total's 56.
Yeah, I went to LA after being at UW, and I literally ran out of the stadium, got to the airport, got to LA, got to see some guys. Shout out Diamond Dave 900 Club. And the SC people were just, combo day of drinking and watching your team get their ass kicked by Notre Dame, who scores 48 points and runs 49 plays. Like every possible negative thing was being said. And the one thing I really thought about, just moving forward with SC, going to the Big Ten, is what is SC's offense going to look like when Lincoln Riley doesn't have a magician at quarterback? This run he's on of Caleb, Kyler, Jalen, Baker Mayfield, like those guys are all Heisman Trophy candidates. Like, I don't know what it looks like. It doesn't feel like it's sustainable. And then you go to Notre Dame, your defense plays great, keeps you in the game, and you can't, Caleb throws 3 picks in the first half. It feels like SC is on tilt to me. And the worst team you want to see that's coming
Utah
in is a team that is not afraid of you at all, will roll their sleeves up and do the things that you refuse to do, lining up and putting your hand down in the ground and getting after it. So I think it's put up or shut up for SC because it is an absolute gauntlet. They still haven't played Washington. They still haven't played Oregon. They play UCLA. They got to go to Cal, which is always a funky spot. So I side with the points with Utah.
Yeah, me too.
I honestly think they could just muck it up and out-tough them. We know they have a good defense. And how does SC respond after getting embarrassed like that? I can't see laying points with SC after what I just saw last week and knowing what I saw in previous weeks. The worst thing I think that happened is they ended up winning that Arizona game because it was kind of like a win, but
wake
you
up
totally
call
expose
that they
yourself.
Yeah.
So
Steve gave out the Irish on this show last week.
It's a culture war. It's Utah. It's USC. It's I think it's a tough this weekend. I think it's a toughness weekend for the Utes. Give me an upset special real quick before we get into the awards.
Chapel Hill. Go to Chapel Hill, Steve.
Muskett's our guy, right?
Yeah, we got a couple guys. That's our problem. We got 2 quarterbacks.
We got
you got
2. You got
play one.
None. Yeah, everybody knows that except for us. So,
do we dare go against James Madison?
Oh boy, Reed's shaking his head.
We dare not.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like there's gonna
All
be
right,
any upsets.
not doing it. Done. Not doing it.
Okay.
Do you guys realize Iowa's going to be 11-1?
No.
Crazy, right?
I'm
You looked
not.
at that
Going to be
total.
11-1.
That total last week was low. You took it anyways.
I'll tell you what line stinks, and I could see it, is Ole Miss only giving 6 to Auburn. Auburn's not a good football team. It's in Jordan Hare, so
Jordan.
that would be
freeze.
All right, let's get the awards. Let's rapid fire these bad boys. We got Timmy Chang Award.
Yep, Timmy Chang Award. I wore the Idaho Vandals shirt on game day, and Idaho people were so fired up. Even I got a text from Mark Schlereth, who was loving life.
I had a beer with him this summer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Only one?
in Montana. Yeah, it was like 11 in the morning.
Oh, okay. All right.
He was with all his Vandal buddies on like a guy's trip
There
up to
you
Montana.
go.
He stopped by my dad's house, and I could have had about 7 with him.
So I wear the shirt. Idaho had a monster game against Montana, and I woke up to a bunch of tweets that took the Idaho Vandal mascot, Grumpy Joe, and people just took Grizz and put it on my sweatshirt, and that's what I woke up to because Montana beat Idaho in a monster matchup. So Timmy Chang Award, receiver Junior Bergen, Montana receiver, 5 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown in that upset win in the Kibbe Dome. And biased, but Coughlin Award winner, Cade Stover, tight end, Ohio State, 4 for 53, 2 tuds. I will see you on the field this week, Cade.
Is that what he's doing now?
What?
Just giving out the award to somebody he's going to see on the field.
Exactly. He's walking right up to him.
Yeah.
Like pulls it out of his pocket.
Like
tell him to like and subscribe.
Speaking of, Micah Parsons, I thought he'd be taller.
Yeah, no. He's not like a
Long-ass
giant.
arms, though.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
He plays longer than for sure. Let's do the locks because Macon's got to run. He's got some MLS to sling. He's been a team player for the Long family as well.
Hey, Steve, at 7-11, you're up first.
Oh, does that mean I went 1 and 2?
Hey, how did I do last week with those 3 unders?
You went 3 for 3, my friend.
Okay.
Did he?
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin went under too.
Pumpkin, bro.
You went 4 for 4.
Went under. That's good.
How are your feet? How are your feet? What were you wearing in there?
Fucking good. No, just booties, bro. Feet are killing me.
Yeah, I bet. Sorry to hear. I just
Sorry to hear that.
kept looking at you in videos and just seeing what my garbage is every day as my kids carve a pumpkin a day in this house.
It was a lot cleaner than I anticipated. So
kind of gross.
We did a whole review pod for anybody listening. You check it out. It came out Tuesday, Steve. If you want to know, check us out.
Sorry, I've been traveling, dude.
Steve, it's all good.
All right. Browns, -2 on the road. Deshaun Watson. Will he play?
That's an icky one to have to watch. Okay, Macon at what are you? 7 and 8?
No.
No, this isn't
I'm 9
true.
and 9. I'm at 500.
Yeah. You're 9 and 9. Okay, I'm 11, 6 and 1. Okay, that's better.
Look at that.
All right, Steve. We got Macon's pick here.
I'm not going to hesitate. The Buffalo Bills. That's 31-13 at New England. Easy.
Nolan sent me something. They've beaten them by an average of like 17 points the last couple games they've played them.
Love it.
You feel like they should be laying more. It's tough because it's a tough spot. It's buy low for both teams. Okay, I'm giving out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What's that number at?
You're at 2.5.
2.5.
You're doing it at the right time.
Yep.
I went last week.
Yep.
Was the wrong week.
I'm going Bucks.
Are we getting better numbers earlier in the week?
I don't know. Kind of like it.
Yeah, disclaimer.
All right, Steve,
you're
up.
Tuesday.
Yeah, but our numbers get locked in right here.
Yes.
Now there is a contingency if somebody like falls off a cliff. If Kyler Murray or one of these quarterbacks, Kyler drowns in a rainstorm, we get a
little puddle.
It's fucking flash floods are serious out there. Okay, Steve, you're up.
Giants +2 at home.
That was in the holster.
That's
Okay.
No, actually, no, it's not.
I got him at +1.5 right now.
Okay.
What?
Sorry, Steve.
Sorry, Steve.
We're not getting better numbers on earlier in the week.
I'm going to go with an excellent team getting points against an above-average team. The Detroit Lions +3 in Baltimore.
Ooh,
I think that line stinks.
Is the game of the week for me.
That line
by the way.
stinks.
That's the best
game. Okay. I'll take the other side, Steve. I was wrong. I actually like the Commanders. I'm getting addicted to betting the commies, and I don't think it's a good thing. But it's a fucking fun team, and I'll bet them at laying 1.5 points.
Eagles -2.
Love it. Can't wait for that game.
I'm going to get Steve. I don't know which game to do, though.
Oh, go both then.
And good
I
news,
only
Steve.
have-
Eagles are -1.5 for us.
Oh, there we go.
Minshew is starting.
Mm-hmm.
Not great as a starter,
Mm-hmm.
but the line's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Give me
I
the-
say you do it,
Give me
dude.
the Colts
Do it.
+2.5.
Do it.
We'll buy
Fucking
it to
do it.
3.
Do it. Do it.
Done.
All right. I got 2 unders to choose from. I'll give you one. It's going to count, and the other one you can just take that and put it in your back pocket. I'm not going to ask for anything.
All right.
All right. If you look at the Chargers, their last 5, 4 of 5 have gone under, I think.
Okay.
And so I think I'll give
they
out.
always played pretty well in Kansas City.
They have played well in Kansas
The
City.
OC is Caroline Wozniacki for crying
Okay.
out loud. I mean, she hasn't studied the game.
The other under is Baltimore, Detroit. And this is the one that I'm going to play. It's at 42. I like that number. Give me Baltimore, Detroit under. And like I said, just put that Kansas City Chargers pick in your back pocket, guys.
Okay. All right.
And I'm going to buy a half point.
Did you say Chargers Chiefs pick?
Under. No, Chargers
Okay.
Chiefs under. For the last 5, Chargers have gone under totals. All right, so we're buying half points. I'm buying with I'm going to buy, this is a tough one. Bucks 2.5 or Commies 1.5. Who are you buying while I think about it?
I already bought Colts,
Okay.
but you got to
Cool,
get to that field goal with the Bucks.
I do.
That's right.
I want to get to the field goal.
Did we just buy the half point in the wrong direction?
I think we did. We don't have to get to the field goal. That's why I was sitting there thinking it was a tough situation, and you just talked
you're
me the
right.
other way.
It is
It is a tough situation. I'm going to buy.
How about Washington, the 1 point
I'm going to buy
win?
the Bucks to the. Golly. No, I'm going to buy the Bucks to 2 because I think the Commies are going to take care of business.
Okay.
If there's business to be taken care of, they're going to take care of business.
I was on them last week. Got me to 500.
I was on them in the first half. It's a lock. Falcons, their alarm clocks don't go off.
Heineke. When do we make the move?
Yeah, when is it
Yeah,
happening?
me and Steve are going to talk about that. Go ahead and slang some
Love you, Steve.
real estate, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
I hate buying tickets. I've been playing my whole life, never had to worry about buying tickets. The ticket part is stressful. The game's stressful. The ticket part's really stressful. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. And with the Game Time app, it's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. If I'm trying to see the monster trucks for my kids or Willie Nelson for me and my kids, I can find it all in the Game Time app. Game Time's the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has the deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code GREENLIGHT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code GREENLIGHT for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Game day is the perfect pizza day. So make Little Caesars the official pizza sponsor of the NFL, part of your game day. Order online during our Pizza pregame 1 hour before and 3 hours after NFL kickoffs, plus all day Sunday, to have your NFL game day covered. Choose your favorite Little Caesars pizza or pick the toppings you crave. It's a pizza win. And speaking of winning, everyone scores with convenient delivery or our in-store pizza portal pickup. So grab some friends, order your Little Caesars, and enjoy during the games. Sunkiss Steve, I get to welcome you in again.
It's crazy. You walk over to Russillo's suite, and people just start firing pictures. If you want to take a picture, just say, "Hey, can we take a picture?"
You should be like, and if you got a podcast, I'm not coming on that either, motherfucker. Take a page out of Kyle Brandt's book. How was Ryan watching the game?
He was great in his element.
He's in his element.
Big NBA pod he had to do.
That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised the NBA let him out of the house. Seriously.
Oh.
Well, good.
Have
I'm
you
glad
been
you
to
guys
SoFi?
No, but the report Macon's going to walk across now. That's what you're seeing. But just like he walks through my yard.
Yeah.
Used to walk through my yard. That's why I moved. Okay. So my mom, the report from my mom, Steve, was
mom report.
Yeah, that it's not the best stadium. Like for a new stadium, like some of the, and she's a details person, so I suspect something's wrong with the details. You know, I like the Death Star in Vegas the best of the new stadiums. SoFi though, as a stadium, did you love it?
I've been there for the title game the night that it was raining inside because there's no
raining inside.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's out windy and rain. Yeah, the rain was just coming right inside. It's a spectacle. It's what you would think with LA. You look in the field suites, they got the suede chairs and the nice couches, everything that you don't want in my opinion at a football game. So it's crazy because like I was asking Buck and Aikman, like I'm like, where I see where you guys are, but like you can't when you look up, there's suites on every level.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where's the press box?
Yeah.
And you look, and it's like, oh, it's all the way over there in the corner. I think the acoustics are a little off. No acoustics are worse than Atlanta. I think that Mercedes-Benz is brutal.
Really?
Oh, the acoustics are awful. It's
for a
just
stadium like that, like the home of.
It's
I mean,
weird
it's
the
like,
way I'm convinced it's because of those circular monitors that everybody's doing.
Yeah.
But no, but what's crazy about SoFi is the fans at Park. They walk in and they're at the top of the stadium. They're in the last row.
It's in like a hole.
Yeah.
You gotta watch out, flash floods, man.
Correct.
You know?
They dug
like
it
talking
out.
about flash floods.
But no, it's awesome. It's
okay.
It's really cool.
So Reed, you're up here. We got Cowboy Reed coming up to the big podium. He's got a read around the NFL. He's in mid-season form, even though we're 0.38% of the way through the season. Not 0.38.
The questions we want to know
38%.
this weekend.
Go ahead, Reed. Start.
Why are the Saints? The questions we want to know this weekend. Why are the Saints favored?
Well, we already talked about that one.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Okay. You do the next one.
What's wrong with the Bills? We saw them against the Giants. They had tough game. What do you think the issues are?
Well, can I just say something? I said before the season that they would take a step back, and then I recanted it after they beat Miami to placate Bills fans. And as much as I love you guys, I'm just not sure. I don't know who you are, and the injuries don't help. Mm-hmm. Offensively, I don't know who you are. You know, well, that's my piece. Steve, I know you're super Bills fan, so talk to me.
I say lack of discipline at the quarterback position,
and that's tough to say because we love Josh.
I know, and I was the bad guy last year that said they were going to take a step back, going back to last year.
The black hat.
I haven't seen the maturity. Obviously, one of the best players, favorite players to watch in the league. But when it comes down to it, in those third downs and decision-making time, whether he's just trying to do too much. Even the touchdown Sunday night, like that throw is stupid.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be that point in the game because of decisions that were made earlier in the game. And that's what I need to see change. I'm not saying they could go win a Super Bowl for sure. But that stuff has to change because you're not, we were talking about earlier, getting over the hump. Those things have to change, and I don't see it. And I also really wonder what they do really well on offense.
Yes. And I think
they don't have an identity.
On a night like Sunday night, you should have been running the ball more. That was the flavor of that game. We talked about like Josh knowing the tone of the game. Well, how about like the play callers? And I don't know, man. Like Dable is catching a lot of shit right now. It's funny the way this works. The way
Very
NFL
funny.
fans form narratives and also like fire off takes.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago, because of what I said preseason about the Bills, I had somebody in my mentions, at least a couple people who were like, "You see why Brian is? We can overcome Brian now." This was after the Dolphins game, and. Like, well, I don't think he was everything to Josh. I think maybe he was that guy that could keep him dialed in to the point. And I don't mean like from a work habit standpoint. I just mean from like a mindset of week to week. Like, what are the chances we're willing to take this weekend? What does the mindset have to be? What are the concepts that we're running that are going to be conducive to us keeping the fucking car on the road? And I don't know if Dorsey's personality, it just doesn't quite work the same. Or if as a team, like they're just undisciplined, like you said, like offensively. I thought the Giants did a great job of mixing it up with the coverage and also like Wink. We came out of that game and I was like, pull the blitz numbers. Like he sat on his hands for once.
Yep.
And I think with Josh, that's telling, right? Mm-hmm. You don't want Josh to burn you. You don't want to challenge Josh because he's going to beat you every time. it's let Josh sit back there and have to make decisions. Like, just pat the ball, and his aggressiveness will play against him. And, like, his decision making as the down ticks on sometimes, it can be. I also think they need a number 2. Like, nothing against Gabe Davis, but, like, I think they could use another weapon. The middle of the field was taken away yesterday or Sunday night. Like, who else can you go to if you take away Diggs and you give him extra help and all that stuff?
They have a brutal end of season schedule too. 5 of their last 6 games at Eagles, at Chiefs, at Chargers, at Dolphins.
Yeah, it's tough.
Home versus Cowboys.
It's tough. So I don't know, man. I think, like, even because right now what we're focused on is the offensive struggles.
Yeah.
But lurking under the surface is the loss of Matt Milano and Trey White and all those guys that you thought you would be the difference. Like, that's why I picked the Bills in tight spots, because I think their defense can be equalizers, and I kind of worry about that. So I know defense wasn't the problem the other night, but I do worry about that down the stretch when you get into nut cutting time.
In the NFC, the 5 and the 6 seeds will be the NFC East runner-up in Seattle. Who gets that 7 spot?
Now this is okay. Like, this is a hypothetical, right? So if the 5 and 6 seeds would be the NFC East runner-up, probably Dallas. If I had to guess right now, I'm not. Yeah. This isn't like a reactive take. I just don't believe in Dallas every year. And if it's Seattle, now the big thing there is, like, the Rams have played really well in spots, and I think they're really well coached, obviously. And Matt Stafford, one of the reasons I bought the under win total this year was, like, I just don't know how healthy he is. So, he doesn't look older. He doesn't look. When I asked Jay Cutler, again, that's my, like, resident quarterback, ask a quarterback guy right now. Yeah. I'm like, what's up with Matt Stafford? Like, how long you think he plays? And you look at all the attrition with his body, but Jay brought up a great point. He's like, his arm talent's so rare. Like, he's going to be able to be a jugs machine for another 5 years, So Stafford's playing well. And if you look at their schedule, it's kind of tough in spots, but Vegas has their win total at like 8.5. So I don't think it's a shoe-in that Seattle, who I actually think is on that just below that Detroit tier, Detroit-Dallas tier. Seattle's like right there to me if they actually play well and punch the ball in the fucking red zone. Yeah. I don't think it's a sure thing that they win, that they secure that wild card spot, and we're not talking about them in the 7. But if that's the case, I think you have to look at Atlanta because of the upside of the possible quarterback change and because of their schedule. Now, this is assuming New Orleans wins the division, which is not an assumption I'm willing to make. But in this exercise,
that's the other problem is you don't know who the hell is going to win that division.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And we haven't even mentioned the Bucs. I think the Bucs.
Yeah.
The Bucs
are in
look
right
strong
now if the playoffs ended.
Yeah. No, but look at this. This is the list of quarterbacks that Atlanta plays the rest of the way. Tannehill, Dobbs, Zach Wilson, Bryce Young in division, obviously. Cousins, which, Minshew, and then Fields are a backup there. I don't know what's going on there. And then Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield are your 2 headliners, your in-division matchups at quarterback. So if you can win those games there, they might win the fucking division. But if they don't win the division, I would give them the edge over Tampa. I got to see Tampa doing more. That was a big spot this weekend. Like, if you want to be taken seriously, all these teams are going through these upstart teams that you didn't expect to be good. Like, there comes a point in the season where I'm like, we're going to find out who they are. And I thought yesterday or 2 days ago, we had a chance to learn something about the Bucs, and what I learned is they're not quite ready. That's a playoff team right there, So I would lean Atlanta.
Yeah, I would. Once they figure it out too, New Orleans. I still think New Orleans and Atlanta are better than Tampa. I really do. But when you say the 5 and 6 are their NFC East, right now it's Dallas and then Seattle. Who's the 7th team? Good Lord.
Right? I mean, Green Bay's one that, Matt just highlighted on the big screen here. And I'm not ready to count Green Bay out because I kind of looked at their schedule and it's not real tough. There's a lot of bad teams in the NFL this year. Like the Packers, I can't quit them because 7 out of the last 12 games, unless I fuck this up, are against teams with losing records. Now, I know we're 6 games in, but 3 of the other 5 are L.A., Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay. So there's not a game that Green Bay, if Jordan Love takes the next step, There's not a game they can't be competitive in. I don't think they're going to be touchdown dogs in any of these games. Washington, I thought about, but like Washington's schedule is fucking brutal.
Look, this is what they have coming up: Broncos, Vikings, Rams.
Who's that?
They could rip off 3 in a row right there.
The Packers.
Yeah,
no question, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and
so the team to me is the commies.
But look at their schedule. Matt said that on the ride over here. But look at their schedule, dude. Look at the commies' schedule.
Listen, I'm confident when I say this.
Yeah.
I don't care who they're playing. If their defense stays healthy, they're in it.
Well, it'd be fun. It'd be fun.
I totally stand by that. I know people want more emotion on Ron Rivera, but they got this thing like it's right where they want to be right now. And you stay healthy. Your quarterback keeps getting better, and you rely on that defensive line, man. You could, I wouldn't want to play against them.
Chase is playing well, man. I was watching him. I mean, like he's settling in, and
yeah, he does avoid contact still a lot to me.
In the pass rush,
yes,
yeah.
Like,
when you're a big athlete, like you've always been, like I never had the experience where I was like contact. I need the contact. I need to shorten the distance.
Correct. But I go back to my mindset of being a tight end and having to block those guys certain times. You're deathly afraid of bull rush. You're definitely afraid. And look what Micah did last night with the game on the line against 2 freaking guys.
Yeah.
Like, you're the biggest, strongest guy on the field. You have to mix that up more. You have because all it does is get that guy spinning. Like, oh shit, is it bull rush time? When's the last time you tried to bull rush?
Well, because he can absolutely get to 7 yards and get to a guy's edge. But like, if he wants to make money for a long time in the league, that's got to be in the repertoire. But I like that though. I like Atlanta. And if Washington can actually handle the schedule, I think they're the first or second best team on that list of teams that we just talked about. And yeah, like Ron, it was a guy we were like, hey, he might be fired first. They've actually put together a nice little. Who do they have the next couple weeks? Because I do think this, Steve, and we talked about like the Chargers' next stretch.
Yeah,
I think the second quarter of the season, or second, whatever this little second phase you want to call it, like the middle of the season, can dictate a lot of how the last part of the season goes because of how a team, where they're sitting, what they want to go. Like the Bucs, you're talking about possibly trading Mike Evans. I don't know where they are on that, but like that's a major deal there for that offense. And if they reel off a couple wins here, maybe they say, well, fuck, we're not packing up the tent.
No, I mean, the next – so they go at Giants, Eagles at home. They just played with them in Philly. At Patriots, that's winnable. At Seattle, is it going to be tough? Yeah, that's a winnable game.
They could win 3 of the next 5
before you go to Dallas.
They could win 3 of the next 5. Yeah. No, they could win 3 of the next 5. They could. Then it gets tough, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So to my point, at least they're going to feel like they're in it, and then they got to win those games down the stretch. They got to steal a couple of those.
What do you like? It's way too early, but like, and that's the other thing. You got to feel good if you hang around 500 for that 7 spot.
Yeah, it's going to take 9 wins, right?
Maybe
that's
8.
kind of the last couple of years.
I mean, these teams at the bottom are not going to win. Giants are out. Bears are out. Minnesota, I'm not confident in that.
No, I don't think I refuse to think about Minnesota as a playoff team because if they're over hits on the win total, I'm fucked. So, me and the Vikings. Okay, Reed. What
is there a 2023 NFL version of last year's TCU? They weren't highly touted throughout midway through the year. I think they weren't even ranked through like college football was week 6 last year, but they made a push to the playoff. Who is the NFL's version of that team?
NFL.
Yes.
Whoa. You know what? I asked Scott today on the plane. I said, who would you rather pick to make the Super Bowl, Detroit or Miami? But then I realized, obviously, the Dolphins' road's tougher, right?
Yeah.
Because of just how many more teams are involved in the better. So I just thought to myself, who's a better football team, Detroit or Miami?
It's hard to fucking figure.
Yeah. And so, to me, it really, I mean, the way the difference is, the matchup is enormous. You've said it from day one. Miami, can you get pressure against Tua? Because guess what? If you do, you're going to be successful, right? And Detroit is pretty darn complete, man.
That's the thing.
I mean, and Goff just said, all right, my running backs are out. We're going to chuck it against Tampa. I think Tampa's defense is above average. And he took that game right into his hands and said, I got this. Don't worry about it.
You have to have as an NFL team like different ways out of situations. Because things pop up, injuries to your secondary. Montgomery gets hurt. Yeah. You're playing left-handed against the Bucs on the road. Like, you have to have your pass rush isn't getting home like it usually does. You have to have different ways. You got to be malleable. The way I like the Eagles, I don't think the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. I think they're one of them. Yeah. But what they do really well is they can win different types of ways. And I think the fucking Lions have gotten into that mode. Now, I wouldn't put the Dolphins in this conversation because I thought the Dolphins were contenders going into the season. Like, I almost picked them to win the East. I mean, I said this in one of the pods in the offseason. I go, they have maybe one, if not one of the best rosters. They have the best roster in the league. And some people laughed at me. But, like, when Jalen Ramsey comes back, they're pretty fucking complete if everybody's healthy and, you can work around the offensive line stuff. So, it's the Houston Texans. If there's anybody who's going to make a run, nobody's going to go to the Super Bowl that you didn't have winning the division or close.
What about the Browns?
I think a lot of people were high on the Browns. Okay. I think the Browns are overrated. I
thought everybody was ranked ahead of them in the division.
Yeah,
going in.
Not the Steelers.
No.
I would just like to say, I try and say it every week, the Cleveland front seven is my favorite unit to watch in football.
Oh, it's awesome.
You talk about buckling up, man.
Yeah.
I give them all the credit. They stared that challenge right in the face with a backup quarterback.
AFC 5 and 6 seeds will be AFC runner-up and AFC North runner-up. AFC 5 and 6 seeds will be the AFC East runner-up and the AFC North runner-up. Is the 7 seed more likely to be the Chargers or the AFC North third place finisher, AFC or even North. Houston?
I think it's AFC North. I mean, North. we just went through the Chargers games. Like, I think they could be staring at, like, Brandon Staley thought he escaped because they beat, whoever it was a couple weeks ago, the Vikings. We thought they might go into the Raiders week with a new coach or something. Like, no disrespect, but this is not going well, and it's only going to get a little worse here soon. Like, they could make a run late, but I think if it gets bad, it's not going to get better. And if you look at the Texans, I really like them. They're like, I got a lot of respect for what they're doing.
Yeah, I give the head coach all the credit, man. They were just a brand new version of ball, and it's awesome.
But the reason we are giving them so much respect is because they're playing above themselves.
Yeah.
And, you can judge the first quarter of the season off results and everything. It's some of the reason why there's friction sometimes with fan bases who are like, but we're 5-1 or but we're 4-2. But we as people who are watching the games have ideas of who these teams are. Regardless of the records and regardless of how well things have gone or if they played above who they are, like, I kind of feel like I know who the Texans are, and there may be a team that could slide in the playoffs. Like, you never know. No. But it'd be hard for me to imagine them making a run this year. I just, like, with the other teams in the AFC North, like, either the Bengals are going to wake up or the Steelers have a high floor, higher than we even thought this year. Somebody's going to be there in the AFC North.
Yes.
But how many wins is it going to take? That's the question.
10.
That to me is like winning 10 games in the fucking AFC. Like, I'm going to go with somebody, even if the Bengals don't look great, and I'm not saying the Bengals are going to do it, but since I'm playing the field, I could see the Bengals winning 10 games before I could see maybe the Texans doing it, just because of the youth.
No, I totally
and
agree.
Because of some of the spots that they've been able to kind of like hide.
They saved their season with that stand against Seattle Sunday. They really did.
It was huge. The D-line, hats off. They really did.
Okay,
Steve, I got a playoff softball game, so
hey,
I got to go.
Does it start with a 1-1 count?
I don't know. I'm not pitching tonight. I just want to say this. I'm the ultimate team player. These guys are looking at me the whole season like, oh, the boss likes to pitch. We can't say anything about it. he's
You started
walking
off good.
I did start
off good.
I just had a tough stretch.
A little too much action on the arm, I think. I think we
much
wore
spin.
we wore your arm out.
You
I
wore
think
my
we
arm
pitched
out.
you too much.
But
That's
what did
all.
I do for the
Oh, I
playoffs?
thought it was because of the pumpkin.
No, it wasn't because of the pumpkin. I said, guys, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to let producer Scott run the show, and it's kind of nice to sit in the fucking dugout and look at lines.
And just hit dingers.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Go get them, boys.
All right, Steve. Thanks, buddy.
Do it for the branch.
For the branch, bro. See ya.